I'm going to show you a really cool hack of putting these VSR10 type magazines back together using a deck of ordinary playing cards. But first, let me show you how to take this thing apart and clean it. I have an SSG-10 magazine, and for some reason the follower is stuck down in the neck. I don't want to throw this thing away and drop another $20 bill to buy another one. So I'm going to take it apart and I'm going to fix it, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that. It is a huge pain in the ass. After you watch the video, let me know, is it worth it? Take this magazine apart. We're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver because there's 4 Phillips head screws. There's 2 little ones here, 2 bigger ones here. And we'll go ahead and take this apart. And the reason you want to do this is because you can get dirt, you can get dust, you can get little rocks, you can get all sorts of stuff inside of these things. And they're kind of expensive. So I taught myself how to take them apart, clean them, and put them back together. Also, if you use Bio BBs exclusively, Bio BBs can leave a residue inside your magazine, and it can cause really bad feeding problems because that residue is really sticky. And you can also get a whole lot of that residue up in here around the feed lips. Alright, so when we take this thing apart, there is 3 little springs in here. And you want to do this very carefully. Alright. Alright, so I got a little spring here, and I'm putting everything into this magnetic dish. I got another little spring here. I got the BB detent, I got the follower, and I got the spring itself. And I've also got this little plastic spring guide. Now you'll notice on this magazine, it looks fairly even. However, there's a really deep track on one side and there's a shallow track on the other. What you want to do is you want to look at this closely and see if there's any flashings in here. A flashing is the mold parting line when they made these, and sometimes that flashing can build up here on this follower and it'll jam inside here, and that's exactly what happened. So what I did was I took a piece of 2000 grit sandpaper and I sanded it all off. I checked the track and I sanded all the flashings out from the inside of here, and then I washed it in hot soapy water, and then I cleaned it off with an alcohol pad. It's time to put it back together. So what we want to do is we want to work on the piece with the deep track. So we're going to need our follower, our spring guide. We're also going to need a pair of tweezers, 3 playing cards, and a length of about 9 inches to a foot of painter's tape. First thing I want to do is get my detent ready. That way when I get this thing ready to put together, I'm not messing around with the detent. But let me say this first. This track right here, there are people that will tell you to put oil and grease in there to help lubricate this. Whatever you do, don't do it, because that oil and grease will transfer to the BB. That BB will transfer it to your hop-up nub, and it will cause your hop-up nub to swell and fail on you. So whatever you do, don't put any grease or oil on this track or on the spring or on the follower. These little springs on this detent will not stay into place. As soon as you turn this thing upside down, they will fall out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of airsoft grease, not a whole lot, and put it in here on the trail where the spring goes on the detent. What that grease does is that grease will hold this in place so that when I'm putting this together, the springs will not fall out. Now don't worry, because I'm putting such a small amount of grease here that it will not transfer over into the detent hole where the BBs come out. So we take our spring guide, we're going to slide it into the deep track side. And now we're going to take our spring and we're going to push it over the spring guide, and then we're going to hold it in place as we push it in. And this, guys, believe it or not, is the hardest part. Take our spring, wrap it in the track, and then put our follower in place, which is kind of idiot proof. It only goes in one way. Now we're going to take our playing cards, slide them down over the top like this, keeping pressure, keeping everything in place. Now we're going to take our painter's tape, we're going to tape it on one side, and then using heavy pressure, on the playing cards and the tape keep that thing into place so it doesn't pop out on us. And here is where we take our detent with our springs already loaded and slide it into place. Now this is where I like these clear plastic magazines, because what we're going to do is just slide it over the top of these springs into this little hole right here. And once we get that all lined up, what I like to do is just take this tape and tear this tape off here. Now, very, very slowly, what we're going to do is work out this playing card, just real slow. And it's going to be a little difficult because this tape is kind of rough. Slowly pull it out. Slowly pull it out until we have our magazine back together. Now at this point, don't scream and yell, don't pass go, don't collect $200, don't do anything, but take a screw and slide the screw in and hold it together. Now what we want to do is we want to test our detent to make sure it's working. And what we should see is we should push it in and it should return, and that is exactly what's happening. So let's go ahead and put the rest of our screws in before this thing flies apart on us. So to test this is pretty easy. You just basically check the detent to make sure that when you push it in, it returns like it's supposed to be. And I'm using 12 bright orange BBs here so you can see them going into the magazine, and you can see them inside the magazine. So the magazine is loading. So what we want to do next for the final test is just put them back in, press the detent, and see if they all feed out. And they do, so that means we have a working magazine. I'll be perfectly honest with you, it took me about 6 months to figure this out. It took me about 24 tries before I was able to get a magazine back together, and I destroyed 3 magazines in the process. But those were magazines that weren't working to begin with. So now using these playing cards and a little bit of painter's tape, I'm able to repair my VSR10 magazines instead of going out and dropping $20 or $10 or $12 or whatever on new magazines every time they get a little rock in them. To me, this hack is a total win-win. I also have more hacks right here in this playlist. Thanks for watching to the end. I really appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. This is Shreq. Over and out.